crying because we need it.
Actually,
I mean, we are crying out. We need love, man. We need a love right now. We don't need religion and philosophy. We need love. We had enough religion. There isn't a race in the world that have more religion than us. I mean, we got every religion in the world. But if you go to China, they don't have a religion in the world.
Dr. Sebi, yes. Peace to you, Dr. Sebi. Can you briefly talk about China? Because a lot of the family, they're very interested in what's going on over there.
Well, as far as being interested in knowing what's going on in China, that interest has been since 1959, 60. When I moved to Los Angeles, California, everybody was interested in learning Chinese and studying Chinese. But if you notice, Chinese wasn't busy in learning any other language but for business. They were study because in 1957, Mao Zedong took over China with Chong and Lai, and they did a beautiful thing. They transformed China from a dependent to a productive country with 1-point-something billion. But when they took it over, it was only 750 million. But now China has put emphasis on what? On manufacturing and food, both. But what are we doing? So China is doing for China. But I want to say this about China. The credit that was given to China about knowledge on herbs and healing, no. There hasn't been any Chinese that have cured AIDS or lupus or herpes or blindness or sickle cell. But we black people are doing it. So, yes, we have to give credit to China and to every other nation, not only China. But as a black man, I have no business entertaining China on that level. And the Chinese would agree with me. My business is Africa.
Yes.
Not China, not Japan. No, my business is China. I cannot look at China and just forsake my brothers and sisters. Well, where is the love that I should have for them? Self-preservation is the first law of nature.
Yes, it is.
So now, as I look towards Africa, and I went to Africa, when I knew that when I went to Africa the first time, they were going to kick me in the teeth, that I knew, because I selected the wrong country. I selected the country of a Sam. The man was a Sam that was in power. He wasn't black. And that man is Nelson Mandela, who is not a black man. He is a Sam. And when I went to South Africa with the cure of AIDS, under his administration, they kicked me in the teeth. But I know that they would do that because the president of Guinea told me that Nelson Mandela had to sign an agreement that when he got out of jail, he was never supposed to see Winnie because the government knew that it was the woman that had the power, not him. So they kicked me in the teeth. So I decided to go to Zimbabwe. And again, they kicked me in the teeth. I decided to go to Sierra Leone, where they tried to take my head off. Well, the only country that said, well, Brother Sebi, we're going to look into what you're doing and we're going to see how we could help is Guinea. And that is where I'm going in April.
Okay.
So even the Africans, let me tell you all something else. I was talking to the president of Tanzania to go to Tanzania to set up a laboratory and a processing plant because we cure malaria, we cure AIDS, we cure, just name it, we have done it. You know what I was told by my brother in Philadelphia? That I had to give him $5,000 if I'm to go to Tanzania and break ground. I said, you mean to tell me that we who have entertained philosophy and history and politics, your brother has sacrificed 10 years of his life to do research, to get to this level of understanding, to help the race, now that I could help the African people and the black people of America, I have to pay to play. Oh, my God. I thought that the damage of starch and blood did not reach that level of destructiveness, but it did, because I have the answer to the disease in Africa. but I have to pay to play. But I cannot repeat on the radio what I told these mothers there. Okay.
We can imagine.
That is where they have us today. That's why I plead. Look, do not talk about religion, politics, or philosophy, history, or anything. Do not talk about that. Let us talk about love and food, and we'll be further ahead in the next 5 years. Yes, China is okay. So is Japan. So is Russia. But Africa is better. Because it's Africa where you find the life. Look at the brothers and sisters that was going to Egypt since 1964 that I remember from Los Angeles. They've been going to Egypt. I've been to Karnak. I've been to Asbu Simbel. I've been to Cairo. I've been to Alexandria. I've been to the Queen of Nefertiti. Okay, fine. What you come back with? Well, I've been inside the tomb. I said, that's fine. Now, you know what I did? I went to Guinea. You understand? I went to Guinea, and I found two herbs. There's a lady 75 years old named Charlotte Hudson, no longer have cancer in her stomach. And there's another herb in Africa called Kankansa that I made this old man, 94 years old. His dick was hard. So what did you come back from Egypt with? I think that this is funny. You know, when they make zombies out of you, you have to do things that is totally against your own existence. I'm going to take my money and spend my money to go into the desert of Egypt to find what? To find some stones. When I took my money, I went into the jungles of Africa, and I came back with some herbs, and 2 people were cured, including Michael Jackson. Wait, Michael Jackson's son? Michael Jackson's son. Oh, my God, I got to talk about Omar. Oh, I can't let this go. See, when I went to Africa, I went to the jungles. So when I went to the jungles, I came back with an herb named Sia, and Michael Jackson's son had a tumor in his frontal lobe. And when he inhaled the Sia, the tumor came out of his nose. Now tell me those who've been to Egypt. I went into the tomb of Ramses II. Oh, I know all about Ramses. He was the boy king, and he ruled in certain dynasty. Fine. Now after we heard that, what are we going to do now? Nothing. But if someone come and tell you, well, man, I went to Africa, and I came back with some herbs. Man, it's the shit. Oh, yeah? What do? They do this. Now, that sounds workable because that's going to save our lives. But when we come back from Egypt with some artifacts, that's furthering these Greeks. That's what you're doing. But let me say something about Egypt, brothers and sisters, you all should know. Do you know that there was a Mexican archaeologist that went to Egypt and made a liar out of the Egyptian Book of the Dead? The Mexicans made a liar out of the Egyptian Book of the Dead because we established our understanding on the Egyptian Book of the Dead, not reality. So this Mexican went in there with a man that was naked and didn't know how to read nor write. And what this man saw exists. The man showed Benavides that there was a temple between the paws of the things that was painted in blue. The hieroglyph never showed that. But this man saw it. And when they went in there, they saw the temple. They said, what else do you see? Oh, the Nile is not a river. The Nile is not what? The naked man said, that's not a river. They said, well, what makes you see not a river? They said, it's a canal that was dug with the hands. The Nile is not a river. They brought the Nile down to Egypt because it never rained in Egypt. And they needed water to irrigate the desert to grow the food that they grew to build the pyramids. Okay? The Mexicans found that. Not a black man, not the archaeologist, not the Egyptologist, a Mexican. There you got it. You see, there's another thing that we were not told. The pyramids in Mexico.
In many ways,
he's a direct
relative. Yeah, he's a direct relative of those quote unquote Egyptians, because the people that were in his landmass that built those structures in Mexico have a direct connection to the same individuals that built the structure in Kemet.
But
so
he's almost like the lips of those people? Did you see the lips of those people, how thick they are?
Indeed. Mm-hmm. You're from Honduras. You can testify. You're one of them. That Central South American region, which has a large concentration of carbonated people, you know that they exist in that area, and that even predates quote-unquote slavery. We're talking about indigenous civilizations that earmark all land masses. You know what I mean? So there's a direct connection, and you embody the connection because you come from Central America by way of Honduras, and that's where the villages, that's where we go for healing. Quote-unquote African people go to Honduras for healing. It's conducive, right, with our vibratory frequency in our bodies because it's the same land. It's the same land. And that's what those herbs represent, a consortium and an alchemy of different herbs from different regions that coexist with just setup of your body is, and it puts things right in perspective. Right. You are everything. You are all continents.
The body's electrical, and so are the herbs.
Yeah, and the electricity of the herbs represent that particular part of the grid that the herbs came from. So you put in all of those things in you, and you become whole again. So that's what these herbs represent. You know what I'm saying? It's that deep. So while people philosophize about it, because they'll spend 30 hours reading books to obtain the information about the particulars about how the lands were connected, but never get involved with the practicality of experiencing the connection and themselves embodying the physical representation of the reconnection.